Interviewee.
How do I go about distributing and selling music? Well, what I do is more sort of word of mouth. I know there's social media is out there, and I do use it to an extent, but I find that just speaking to people and making connections, meeting people at gigs, things like that. I don't really distribute a lot of music as of now because I've not got any comprehensive pieces of work out. But in future, when I do, I'll probably go through the resource of what CD Baby, companies like that. That's what Papa Stereo Victim, the band that I have with Christopher, that's what we do. And apparently it gets played. We were looking at the rundown of how many people have downloaded things. It's pretty shocking, really. It's strange because it happens without you realizing it. So that's still out there. So that's probably when I put out my solo album, I'll go down that route, most likely. Again, by word of mouth, mostly. It's all about how you put yourself out there, who you speak to, the level of professionalism. If you treat people really, really well, make sure they're taken care of as a musician, make sure all the, the proper equipment is there. If they can get some free drinks, that's also a bonus. But generally it's somebody will get in touch with me directly or through a friend or through another contact. When I go out to meet other artists or find talent, if I'm interested in them for, say, my radio show or gigs that I put on, it's generally by meeting them at live music events, open mics or other people's events that they put on, festivals. If I like them, I'll go up and speak to them and then try to get in touch after the fact. It's very personal. It's very one-on-one. I have in the past, used social media back in the day, MySpace. I got in touch with a lot of people over MySpace. Don't know if people do that anymore. But Facebook is good for things like that. Facebook and good old-fashioned meeting people. It's the best approach, I think. Just go up and have a word or, make a connection. So that's my favorite way to go about it. This means most effective. Future projects on the horizon that I'm working on at the moment will be a solo album of my own original material. I've been working with some really fantastic artists lately, so getting the material just right, getting the studio time that I want at the studio that I want it, it's very important. The whole process is very important. I'm looking forward to having a bit more control over the whole experience, and I do love recording. It's like probably one of the best things you could do is to make the sounds in your head come out and sound the same, and working with other people to get that done. Good communication and just a good experience all around. And I'm always looking to collaborate with people, so I'm always open for new projects. How many gigs have I done outside of Macclesfield? Quite a few, I'd say. I think I've probably forgotten more than I remember. I used to play out in Manchester quite a bit, around the Northern Quarter, around Oxford Road area, so places like the Thirsty Scholar and Lasso Gallery. I played Night and Day a few times, Bay Horse, places like that, small clubs. I was lucky enough to get to support Jake Evans at the Deaf Institute once. That was good times. They have a proper dressing room and everything. So I'd say probably about the same, a ratio of probably 50-50. I get out of town quite a bit, so to obscure locations, but mostly in Cheshire. But hopefully further afield as we go on. When I've worked on projects with people, especially, most recently, Papa Stereo Victim. I say recently, it's been a couple of years. We do assume roles. Christopher, in the past, has sort of, he's more the technical side of things. He knows a lot about logic and recording and things like that. I'm learning. And I more kind of come up with melodies and lyrics a lot of the writing. You know, he kind of sets me on a trajectory, and I follow, and good things happen. You know, sometimes they fall on their face, but most of the time it's been good. When I collaborate with someone, it's very much the same. They take care of the technical side of things, and I just sort of bring the lyrics and melody, and it's been a really good experience, everything that I've done so far. No, it's not a full-time thing, but it takes up a lot of time, and sometimes it feels like a full-time thing. I'd like to devote more time to it, but life and the kids and jobs and just moving from place to place, I mean, it all takes up a lot of time, but hopefully in future I'll be able to devote more time to it. And I guess it's hard to say. It doesn't feel like a part-time thing because it is every day, all day, on my mind, in our lives, you know, what with our music shop and gigging and organizing gigs. It takes up a lot of time, so I'd say it's a 75-25 kind of thing. Oh, I am not genre specific. I've been really lucky in the past to do some collaborations that, I mean, step way outside of my singer-songwriter folky kind of thing that I like to do. I've done some ambient tracks with some other people and dancey kind of stuff. So it's been a really interesting spectrum, I guess, because I can do sort of like the singer-songwriter, folk, country stuff, and then I switch over to the rock, electro, lo-fi, mechanized rock, and then somewhere in the middle I find doing a dance track every once in a while is really good. It's a good way to kind of keep it fresh, so you can revisit the different genres with a different perspective every time. I haven't featured. I've been in the newspaper a couple times. Gigs that I've put on, or gigs that I've been involved in. The Windy Stock Festival that I helped to organize a couple years in a row, we got a little bit of page time, and oh gosh, yeah, it's generally a larger event that I've been part of if I get any exposure there. As far as my individual tracks, no, but I was featured in a BBC Two radio show. It was a documentary about Leonard Cohen's song Hallelujah, and that was really great experience. I got to be part of that. They came and interviewed me and recorded a bit of me playing live, and then Guy Garvey hosted it and said my name a few times. So that's been the most sort of radio exposure that I've had, aside from having radio shows of my own. So one day, I hope